All right. I think we're live now. Welcome, Hidon, to I actually don't even know what I'm going to be calling this. This is just Nathan's interview with Hidon, following on from the video I did of you about 2 days ago, reviewing your preseason Nunu. So you're obviously a Nunu main. You're not one trick, right? Because you play Elise as well.
Yeah, I play like 5-6 champions, but I was the Nunu one trick and always thought he was fun to play. So I kind of made him now, yeah.
And you finished last season Challenger 760 LP, I think it was, on European West.
Yeah, I finished 760, yeah. But this is like I make a new account every season, and then grind it up from like unranked. So I also have like season 9 account challenger and season 8. I finished preseason challenger, but yeah.
And you peaked at 1K LP?
980.
Was that this season or?
Yeah, it was this season.
I mean, last season, season 10, right?
Yeah.
So you've been season since. So when was the first season you got Challenger?
Preseason of season 8.
And I love hearing about people's journey to first getting Challenger, because everyone's like, it's a big deal when you first get Challenger.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's like, it's like oh, like I finally got it, you know. So I mean, exactly. I'm an old school player. I mean, I got Challenger in season 3, which was, again, it's not as much of it. I mean, it was much easier back then because no one knew what they were doing, right? I feel like getting Challenger nowadays is much harder, right? I mean, there's so many pro players and stuff, and European West is sort of known as a pretty good solo queue region. Obviously, you know, European teams doing pretty well in the pro scene, worlds and stuff like that. So how long have you been playing for, Hidon?
All right, so I started in end of season 2, I think. Started in the end of season 2 or 3, I can't remember. And then I played like mid lane. I played only Yasuo and Zed.
Yeah.
Until season 6, and then I stopped playing for like 2 seasons and focused more on school and just having a social life. But then I got back into League in season 8. Yeah, in season 8. And then I just grinded from D5 to Challenger in two months, playing only Nunu.
So Nunu was the champ that you got to Challenger with?
Yeah, it was the first time around.
So season 6, you finished Diamond. So is that when before you quit?
Diamond 1, yeah. And so I had no clue what I was doing.
And you was playing mid at that point, just Yasuo and Set, you said.
Yeah.
Wait, was Set out in season 6?
No, Shadow Set.
Who? Oh, Zed. Oh, Zed. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
I mean, same pronunciation, I guess.
Yeah, it sounded so familiar. So Nunu. So would you say when you first got to Challenge? I mean, so like, you know, this was season 7. Like your knowledge now compared to then, like, did you slowly add champions to your pool? Like when did you decide to stop playing Nunu? Like, I'm out of curiosity and branch to other champions.
Like when I first got to Challenger, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just really good at the champion, and his ganks were so broken, and I was the only one back then in EOS to play Nunu in Hilo, so no one had no clue what he was doing. So I could just gank bot lane every time and get kills.
So that's all you did every game, just gank bot lane?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I had no clue what I was doing, like no clue about matchups or anything. I just gank bot lane level 2 after red golems, then go bot level 2 and get kill every time.
Were the runes out, like Aftershock and stuff?
Yeah, that was Aftershock back then.
So you would go Aftershock, and then what would have been the secondary tree?
Like it could be Precision, and then you could go Triumph, and I think it was also Tenacity back then. And then there was another one, which was Inspiration. That was my first runes of choice, where I just went Futures Market and Cosmic Insights.
Interesting, on Nunu with Aftershock.
The only reason it worked is because when you reset on first base, you usually don't have the gold you need. So when you reset, you get exactly what you need, because you can go into like what's it called, depth or something, like more money than you actually have.
Yeah. I mean, you'll do that on champs like Ivan and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And certain champs for certain buys. What was the buy that was so important? Like, what were you doing? Just building Cinder?
Boots and Cinderhulk, and if you had the money, then go Daxial. Also back then, I went Daxial.
Yeah. Okay, fascinating. Well, we'll talk all about that. So we'll jump into where I wanted to start with you, Hidon. Again, obviously, thanks for taking the time out of your day to teach myself and also my viewers, my audience about Nunu. So the plan here as well for letting you guys know is we're going to be going over. Firstly, I want to go over the video that I did with Hidon, sort of talk about some of the things that I got wrong. I mean, obviously, this was all just my perspective, you know, what I thought Hidon, why he was doing certain things in terms of pathing, win conditions and stuff like that. And then we'll review some of Hidon's games. I want to look at a game or two of mine, and then we'll actually go at a lower elo Nunu player to sort of see what are you doing? What sort of mistakes is a lower elo Nunu player doing? So yeah, so where I wanted to start with Hidon is talking about your Nunu. So let's start with some questions that I had to clarify. And again, you can jump in anytime you want. But what I wanted to start with was your skill order. So you go W second max, and traditionally Nunus went E. Tell me about that second.
All right. So sometimes I go E as well, but the reason I go W is because if you do get to snowball the game, you usually find out at around level 7, 8. Like you usually find out if you like get fit, and then the damage from your W amplifies, and you can go Magi, and it does like 400, 500 damage on ADCs, and it's so fucking broken. But if I don't get to snowball the game, then I will go E, and it also depends on what champs I'm playing against. Like if I'm playing versus Rakan, Pyke, where you need the slow resistance from E, then I will go E second. But
so this is very adaptable. So you're literally not going off. Because I looked it through your OPGG and you're going W pretty much every game. Maybe that was just because I was looking at games you're ahead. I mean, W second.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like it's something I recently changed. Like it depends on. It's just something that I feel crafted a little bit with. Like W is good if you can snowball, and Magi is good, and if it's not, then I will go E.
So it's because of the AP ratios on Dark Seal thing. It's the AP ratio of the W is so much bigger than the E, so you're literally just like one-shotting people with ganks.
Yeah.
Is that the thought process?
Yeah, and the reason you go E second is for the slow resistance usually, so that people literally can't escape you. Even if they flash, they just get slowed and get rooted and dies. So
okay.
It all depends from game to game.
All right. Well, that's what I talk about a lot about my channel, just adapting builds, items, runes. Skill order isn't something I've really talked about at all. I don't think there's any champions where I
No, there's not a lot of champions where like skill order matters. It's usually the same every time, right? But on Nunu, you can change it up.
Is this something only you do? Do other Challenger Nunu players do this?
I am the only one who does that.
Interesting.
All the other ones, all the other ones go E for sure.
Excellent. All right. I love it. I love theory crafting these things. So the next thing I wanted to ask you about. So obviously this is the cookie cutter rune page that we see most Nunus go. What do you think about this rune page, out of curiosity? I mean, you obviously run a different one. We'll get into that in a second. But you've literally never take this page ever, do you? You don't like domination secondary?
I used to go domination, but they recently nerfed Relentless Hunter, so I don't find it as good as it was before. Like I used it as well before it got changed, but after the nerf, I don't think it's valuable as like Triumph and Tenacity can be, especially Tenacity. But yeah, I don't like it anymore.
So you went this last season, season 10, but just because the nerfs to Relentless Hunter this season?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that Relentless Hunter got nerfed. What did they nerf about it?
I can't remember right now, but if I see the patch, then obviously I can. But right. I think it was something with the speed. Like when you get stacks, the speed is not as valuable as it was before.
And then in rune stats, obviously you switch out to Magic Resist. When do you decide to switch out to Magic Resist?
It usually depends on the mid jungle 2v2. If we're playing versus heavy AP, then I would value MR higher than armor, because you don't. Usually you need the armor versus the camps, right? Because they obviously do AD except the Grump. So I changed it out if I'm playing versus heavy AP mid jungle.
Okay, so jumping into your room page now, the most interesting one that it's obviously pretty similar there. We go in the phase rush, and then you go absolute focus here. Tell me your thought process here.
Okay, so this is not something I came up with myself. This is something that I got told. Right now, I can't remember who it was, but you don't need celerity. You already have phase rush and an insane amount of movement speed, so you don't need celerity. And as you said in the video, you thought that it was because you're usually like full HP because of the Q, which is correct. So with AP, like with the AP ratio that Nunu has, you can abuse this by being pretty much full HP all the time, right?
Yeah, I've been testing it out a bit, and I definitely feel the damage difference.
Yeah,
and I mean, celerity in general, it's like a pretty shitty rune. Like, it's not that much move speed, you know. Like I've never been a fan of the sorcery tree because of like celerity. You know, it's like it was always something that I would never think to go absolute focus though. I thought that was really interesting. Do you ever go nullifying orb ever?
No, Nimbus is too good. Like you can't not take that rune. It's so broken.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, maybe if you're playing this heavy AP, then I would consider it for sure.
I mean, probably not. I think Nimbus Cloak's too good. Like,
yeah, it really is. But yeah, I mean, if you're playing versus 5 AP, then why not, right?
Yeah, that's true. Again, always adapting runes, and then the precision secondary here. So I talked about in my video where Triumph do you think it really makes sense on Nunu? Like, you're obviously taking this tree more for the tenacity, right?
Yeah, for the tenacity mostly. But I usually before I went for like one of the 3 below, like Last Stand, Coup de Gras, or what Cut Down.
Cut Down, yeah.
Yeah. So usually I could go for one of those because on level 6 your ult literally one-shots people. So it could work like that. But I think Triumph in solo queue is just so good because there's always perma-fighting and it can save you in some scenarios. Like sometimes it has saved me in fights. So I think it's decent.
And the tenacity, so tell me why you prioritize the tenacity so much.
I mean, obviously Nunu is a very slippery champion, and with tenacity you can never really get locked down. It's just you just have to be annoying or peel your carries in team fights or tank, right? And you don't want to be locked down because your Q has relatively low cooldown, and you just want to perma Q and heal up. So tenacity is really strong on Nunu.
And sometimes you'll double it up with Merc Treads, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you're playing versus CC or armor, APs, then definitely go Mercs, and then you can never get CC'd. It feels really strong.
So my question is to you, Hidon, is what happens if you're versing a very low CC comp?
Yeah, then I will go for Inspiration.
Inspiration, and then what will you go there?
I would go Futures Market and Cosmic Insight, as I said before. But right now, I'm gonna Theorycraft some more because I think they kind of indirectly nerfed the Cosmic Insight. So I'm gonna try some other runes instead. It could be Domination. It could be what's the green tree called? I can't remember right now.
Resolve.
Yeah, I think Resolve could also work because it could make you even tankier, or you could go for Demolish and help take down towers. So I'm gonna Theorycraft some more on that one. If they
obviously Boneplane Revitalize, right? That's Bone Revitalize makes sense for Nunu because he's got Consume, right?
Yeah. A lot of stuff could work on Nunu. Like he has so many different runes that he can go, and it would work.
So you're just a domination tree hater, Hidon. You're not even considering that as a secondary tree. You don't think you don't even value Cheap Shot?
Yes, I do. Like if as I said, I'm gonna Theorycraft some more, and I'm gonna see if I still like it. But I don't think there's anything else you could go. You could maybe go for cheap shot and then the zombie ward, it could be really good because you're obviously gonna clear some wards on your way. So I might try it.
So you're not even considering Relentless Hunter here. You think it's actually that being nerfed that hard?
I mean, it's been nerfed, but the reason you go it is for the movement speed. But Nunu is already super fast, so you don't need more movement speed.
I guess thinking about when I went Aftershock, Nunu. I mean, I've never really had trouble with ganks. I would love to compare like how many successful ganks I got off versus compared to then and now. Because I mean, Aftershock, well, this time last year, that was the go-to rune page, right?
For sure.
So maybe it is a bait. Super interesting. But I mean, so why do you think every Nunu player, like Challenger player and stuff, everyone goes that right now just because they're just not theory crafting, or they just think is lazy? What do you think?
I think they're just not theory crafting too much. Like usually people are just on the bandwagon, right? So people will take what they think is meta, but there's so many different opportunities for Nunu. So if you feel like something could be good in a game, then go for it.
All right, super interesting. Okay, so the next part here was what I said was your second rune option. The Conqueror here. We talked about this a bit before. I came up with some crazy theory here that you went this because of this specific comp. You went to a Shen, Zac, Nautilus, and Conqueror is really good because it's gonna be long fights, right? Then you told me this is just a misclick of runes. You were going the Yasuo runes. This was Yasuo runes.
Because we were in the Champions League before and I was out of field mid lane. So this is the Yasuo runes.
So we can completely ignore this? You'd never go this? You don't think there's any value in this?
There is value in it. Like as I said, there's so many different things that could work on Nunu. And I have tried Nunu before with Conqueror. And it didn't feel bad, honestly. It felt pretty fine. But obviously, if you have to do this, I think Taste of Blood is kind of useless. I would go cheap shot all the time.
Yeah.
Because like it is a lot of healing with Ravenous Hunter, and then you also have the cheap shot with like all the CC you have, right? And maybe instead of attack speed, I would go tenacity.
Of course, you love tenacity hardening. So you'll never go alacrity. Really, so just think alacrity just sucks on Nunu.
No, it also can work. Like the attack speed is super good for clearing camps with the passive he has, and it can it can help in fights with auto attacking, but you don't really want to auto attack too much on Nunu. So if there's a reason to take tenacity, then you should also like always take it.
And you'd switch last stand. Probably last stand would make more sense in this sort of situation, right? Against heavy tanky teams, you're gonna be.
Yeah, I think cut down would be not too valuable because you already like you are the one with the most HP, right? So
that's right.
It won't really help you. But yeah, probably last stand. But yeah, for sure, like Conqueror can't work. I used to go it sometimes. So yeah.
All right, well, I think that wraps up runes. I'm super excited. Obviously, there's probably even potentially a third option here for your theory crafting. But I thought it was really interesting there. You're an anti-domination Nunu player, so super interesting. Because again, that's the bandwagon everyone follows.
Yeah.
All right, so items obviously changed a lot in season 11. These are the items this is correct. These are the items you really prioritize right now. Sunfire Aegis obviously been the mythic. That's just OP right now.
Yeah, it's just too good. Like you can go for the AP one. What's it called? Like Proto Belt, Rocket Belt, something.
Rocket Belt, yeah.
Yeah, Rocket Belt. You can go for that if you want the AP version. But right now, Sunfire is just too broken not to take, right? But yeah, they recently nerfed it, so maybe some other things will have more value.
The initial one that I was testing out was the Frostfire Fist thing.
Yeah, I also tested that one.
What did you think of that?
And not a big fan.
I mean, my thought process was they'll never get away from me ever again. Like literally, exactly. Like the W, the E, and I feel like because it's like the new Iceborne Gauntlet, right? Yeah. So it's like I was like, oh, maybe this could work. Any other mythic items you think? I mean, it sounds like you're not a fan too much of that one.
There's
a Chem Tank one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're versus heavy magic resist or AP, then you can try that one. And I think it would be fine. But right now on a standing foot, I can't really remember what it does in the passive. But yeah, Sunfire, always a big fan of it. So even after the nerf, I think it will still be okay.
Blue Smite, you go this every single game. Is that correct?
No. I mean, I used to, because Blue Smite is just so good, and it helps Nunu catch up to his targets, right? But recently, with Phase Rush, you don't really need Blue Smite anymore. So if there is a possibility to go Red Smite, you should do it. But yeah, I used to do a lot of Blue Smite.
So let's say, so you're saying what's the percentage you'll be taking right now, Blue Smite versus Red Smite in games? 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 50-50?
Probably, yeah, 50-50, I would say.
And the decisions like range champions you need to get on, Blue Smite, Red Smite against melee champs?
Yeah, Red Smite into think of Red Smite as a mini exhaust kind of. So if you feel like you need a mini exhaust, then go Red Smite.
So against champs like Yasuo, Aurelia,
Graves, yeah, everything that is good in extended fights, Draven even.
So boots, obviously pretty self-explanatory. Merc treads, what's your decision here? Like, I mean, if you're versing AD but heavy CC, you'll go still the plated still caps ninja tubs or whatever.
If I'm versus a lot of AD and they also have CC, I would probably still just go for what's it called? The steel thing. The steel armor boots. It doesn't matter, like the CC, it's not worth going mercs over because you already have tenacity usually. And if I'm versus AP with CC, I would go mercs every time. But yeah, mercs are super broken, right? So if there's a possibility to go with, I would definitely do it.
And Dark Seal Magi, tell me about this. You build Dark Seal every single game, no matter what, on your first base. I mean, no, so not on your first base, but actually we talk about the item journeys as well here. You would go the Barmy Cinder first base pretty much every time.
Yeah, if you have 1k gold, always go Barmy Cinder. It's super good with Nunu and how he works with clearing the jungle. Even in fights, it can do a lot of procs because of how much you CC the enemy targets, right? But if I have the perfect base, then I go Barmy Cinder, I go Boots, and Dark Seal. Because Dark Seal, there's always a possibility for you to snowball the game, get 10 stacks, go Magi, and then be a nuisance in the fights, like with your AP scaling with ult and W. So if I have the opportunity, I will always go Dark Seal.
So that leads me to my next question is, when do you decide to go Magi's?
If I get 10 stacks or I am at 6-7 stacks and I feel like I'm not gonna die no matter how much I misplay, I will go Magi for sure. It's so fucking good.
And Magi's is like really expensive nowadays, right?
Yeah, so I mean it got a little bit more cost on it, but it's still definitely worth it.
And so I mean, I guess those go hand in hand with leveling up W second, right? So if you're going Magi's, you're literally going to be going 2 points. And by that time, like level 8, I guess you pretty much know, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. At level 8, I know if Magi is going to be a thing or not.
So now moving into the items past these. So Deadman, Spirit Visage, you think those are just the go-to, just best next items?
I mean, Spirit is more in long extended fights because there is a new item as well. It's called what's it called? Something with give me 1 sec.
It's all right.
Force of Nature.
Force of Nature. Ah, okay. So you think this is potentially a better magic resist item?
Yeah. In what's it called? Taking ability damage grants you 6 bonus movement speed and 4 bonus magic resist for 5 seconds, and it stacks up to 5. And that's super, super good on Nunu. Like if you're playing with heavy AP with long extended fights, then definitely go Force of Nature.
So what's an example of that? Would it be like against a Zia, like a Nivea?
It could be versus like just long extended fights. I guess Lilia maybe. Yeah, a seer could also work. I mean, maybe Syndra as well. Not really Syndra.
Syndra's sort of a burst champ, right?
Yeah,
That's gonna be quick fights.
Yeah, she is. Silas, like everything that just wants to fight for a long extended period of time, right? But I can't really name a comp right now. But yeah, versus long extended fights, you go Force of Nature, and in quick bursty fights, Spirit is better because you can just Q a lot and get full HP every time, and that could be versus something like Syndra.
Yeah, yeah, and armor items, Dead Man's always first.
It used to be Dead Man's if you had a lot of gold, and Night's Vow if you have like not a lot of gold, right?
So Night's Vow's gone now, is that right? So never build Night's Vow.
Yeah, it's definitely out of the picture. It's kind of useless. So I think right now I would go Sunfire Dead Man's almost every game into ADs. Sometimes Frozen Heart could work versus attack speed champions with like Rage Blade. Could be Yon or Yasuo. As it's like it limits their attack speed, right? So Frozen Heart could also be a thing. But I think Sunfire, Deadman's, or Sunfire, Frozen Heart, or Sunfire and Randians, as it's versus crit. So if you're versus heavy crit champions, you go for Deadman's Plate. No, not Deadman's Plate. What's it called? Randians.
People always talk about like I love it in guides and stuff where people always like say these are like your full 6 items. And I think there's such a waste to ever even think about that. I mean, when was the last time you probably thought you built like even 5 items, 6 items in a game? Like how early would you ideally want to be ending games as Nunu? Does Nunu scale? Do you think Nunu scales?
No, not really. But with Magi's and the like AP, he can scale well and kind of one-shot the enemy carries. But you don't want to think about scaling on Nunu. You just want to think about how much early pressure you can put on the map.
All right, so let's get into the other thing as well I didn't actually mention here. You love going instead of traditionally I would think going the tenacity elixir, but obviously you've probably got enough tenacity in these builds with Merc Treads that you like going the AP elixir.
I mean, it's just if I feel like the game is over and we need the damage on the towers or something, I would go for just AP elixir. But I don't usually go for elixir.
Okay. The other one was game 3 here. This was just that you just experiments in here, like you were sort of thinking to go rock about, and then you went Sunfire.
Yeah, I forgot that you can't build 2 of them, right? So
yeah, got it.
So I was like, oh shit, I can't do that, and then I just sold it again, I think.
It's so funny when like someone's like researching studying, it's like this guy's like some genius, like what's going on here? And it's like you just hear like these mistakes Challenger players make. Like it's just hilarious, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a new season and we also have to start from the beginning kind of.
Oh yeah, we have no idea what we're doing. It's super fun.
Yeah, it is fun to just learn new things.
All right, so let's jump into this game now. So I have a bunch of questions around early path in. I mean, we'll get into it now here. I was thinking about maybe getting into it, but we're actually reviewing one of your games. But obviously, we're still going over the video that I did of you. So this game here. Okay, so talk to me about all these Nunu players, everyone loves like, oh, you got to get dragon, like first dragon, early dragon, or you got to play around bot because like bot's like easy kills. What do you think about that? Is that true? Do you prioritize bot more than other lanes?
If bot is good, then I will play for bot because obviously there's 2 people in bot lane, so it will impact the map way harder. And if enemies have low mobility, ADC or both of them, then always play for bot lane. It's really simple. But I spent like 1 year playing lane, so usually I know how the matchups will go in theory. So I know what I have to play around early on. But yeah, not a lot of people do that. So I just think to myself before, like even in Champ Select, what will happen in the matchup and what do I need to do. So my pathing is never the same. and this is something I always get in my Twitch chat as well. Like people asking, what pathing do you go? And I say it's never the same. Like you have to think, what do you have to do in the relative game, right?
Do you ever start blue buff?
Yes, sometimes. Like if bot lane has like Ezreal Pike, that is not a gankable lane for Nunu. And then usually is another lane that you can gank or play around. So if I'm playing versus a heavy mobility bot lane, I don't see a reason for me to go down there early on. So I won't play around them. And then I will just start blue because I want to be top early on and or mid lane. Top or mid lane, not bot.
So then how do you visualize this game? So you said that you want to play when you can play around bot lane, you will. What does that mean? Chance with CC, like you said enemy teams low mobility.
Okay, so this game, I think to myself, I have Thresh, I have Ashe, that's CC, that's a lot of CC. And enemies have a cleanse Jhin and a Rakan. Rakan is not enough to save Jhin in this case, so I'm gonna play around bot lane.
All right, so talked about this. Do you do this often?
Okay, so there's like a cheese thing. You also talked about it, where you can go W early on. Usually, I don't do it like this. I don't know if you have seen it, but I will go between tier 1 and tier 2 in bot side, and then stand there. If you can,
so here,
yeah, right there, kinda.
Yeah.
And then I will tell my team to go where Thresh is right now, and then we invade. And every single time someone is standing there, and you just get a free kill because you run with the base movement speed from the base. So you run at them with like 900 movement speed. It's super fun and super broken.
Okay, so we walk straight out of base, and then from between tier 1 and 2 mid towers, you'll charge up your snowball, and you snowball to their red. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I will run through the jungle, like through our jungle. I saw you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like this.
Yeah, that way.
Yeah,
exactly.
And you'll get a pick here most of the time. I mean, when do you decide to do this, Hidon?
I do this when I even have if I have someone who can follow up on the support role or mid lane, or if the support is someone with low mobility. It could be Thresh, it could be not Rakan because he can just take W and jump over the wall. But usually they are not able to react even if they have Rakan. They will just die anyways. But you can do that in every single low elo game and it will 100% work.
So is starting W, like even if you get the kill, okay, let's say you miss the kill. What's the difference between starting consume and W? Would you rather much obviously prefer to start consume or?
I don't really care. Like it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter because if you start W, then you can solo the Raptors and that allows your laner to start in lane, which they usually want because they can get a benefit. They can get benefits out of it. You see Zac starting in lane right now and my bot lane starting in lane. That means they don't know where I'm starting. But they have a ward here, obviously. But usually they will not know where I'm starting. So they don't know where I am. And I have the element of surprise on my side, right?
So with that logic, then why don't you do this every single game? Because I think I see you go consume, you start consume a lot.
I mean, usually, even if they know where you are, it will not matter because your ganks are so potent and it doesn't matter if they know where you are. You'll just kill them anyways. But with that logic, you can do it. But yeah, sometimes I just don't feel like it, I guess. But yeah, for sure, like I played competitive myself, right? And in pretty much every competitive game, I did that. Just to not give away where I'm starting.
All right, so obviously you're pathing towards bot here. So this game you do obviously Raptors red. I mean, obviously you have to adapt your path because you don't have consume. And then the couple of the VODs after you were doing red Krugs Raptors. So why was that literally? Did you not have the option because you started Raptors? You don't want to do Krugs. You don't want to like loop back. It's too inefficient.
Yeah, if you go W first, then there's not really an opportunity for you to go for the golems because you need to go back and then forth again, right? So it's
inefficient.
It's one step back, one step forward, two steps back, and then you kind of are forced to gank top lane. You're not really forced, but it's just way too inefficient. There's no point.
All right, and then I assume that this stage, so you decide to do your wolves here because enemy bot lane, their bot lane's basin, so there's no option to gank. Yeah. Would you gank? Do you gank level 2 as Nunu?
No, not really. Only if it's really, really free. Like if you know that you're gonna get a kill or it's gonna help out your laner, I will do it. But like maybe 1 out of 50 games I do it. So yeah, really no. And the reason I keep farming is because my bot lane is obviously in base, and I want to link up with my Thresh or be able to gank when they hit lane because they already build a slow push. Like they forced enemy bot lane to build a slow push, and then there's a gank opportunity for me. If we look bot lane now, you could see it, but yeah, I link up with my support, and we get a kill.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So these are the ganks. I don't think I said that this one was a fail gank, but like I love the mindset around this. I was talking about where you utilize the move speed, obviously, for it, and you think. I mean, so when did we last see Jhin? Why do you think you can go for this? Explain to me that, Hidon.
I can't see if bot lane wave is pushed. Can we see it at some point?
No, we can't. I can't move the map. It's a VOD. It's a YouTube video.
Yeah, of course. But I think can you keep going for a bit? I think you show it in when I go bot lane. Yeah, there. Yeah, there. So the wave is freezing. Like it's freezing right now. So in my mind, I think that Jhin and Rakan will be in lane right now and try to unfreeze it at some point because high elo players usually have big egos, and they don't want to lose anything if there's like So in my mind, they could be in the bush right now and then waiting for the opportunity to unfreeze it. So there's no reason for me not to go for this. Because if we do kill them, the game is over right now. Yeah, and obviously Jhin is he based. he didn't have ego.
Right, so you go top here to Krug. So obviously showing bot there, you need to consider potentially maybe losing your top side now. You know that Rek'Sai would be top side, right?
Yeah, it's a possibility.
So what do you think about, why would you not go straight back bot out of base here? Or you just feel like you have to defend your camp's top side?
I don't really have to defend my camps, but I see that my sack is low HP and there's an opportunity for them to gank or dive him. Because I think also Akali has a slow push here and a big wave. So in my mind, I have to defend him because he has passive as well. So that's a huge time. What's it called? Like it's a huge time buyer, I guess. So in my mind, I can still save him. But as I see my Crux are up, I know that he's not there, and he probably is in bot. Or top lane, as it's still slow pushing, and I think he gets dive here. Yeah. It's top lane, right?
Yep, Zach literally just dies top. I mean Rek'Sai, sorry.
Yeah. Because of this passive. But yeah, I should have for sure like just covered him top lane there.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, these VODs are really hard to look at because ideally we're looking at your perspective, right? And I can't even move around the map. So I think it might be pretty useless to go over these games compared to, I want to go over your games from your perspective on your stream, right? So was there anything in here? I think you mentioned the pressure gank versus foul gank. Actually, I can't remember which game it was, but you want to go over?
It was that one, I think.
Okay, it was this one. Do you remember what time it was?
I mean. Yeah, it was here. If you go back a little bit, I think we ganked. Yeah, I think I ganked here. Or no? No, I guess not.
That was successful gank. Yeah.
I think it was second Drake. I mean, we can just see on your the thing you made, right?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, what am I talking about? I made that for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, 926. Oh, there we go. That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Or was it mid lane here? Oh yeah, that was mid lane. I guess.
Oh yeah. So you think this is a good gank or was this a pressure gank?
No. This was. I mean, I was just trying to see if he was gonna int it, right?
Yeah.
Trying to see if he was gonna push out the wave, but he respected it, and yeah, that was great. That was just a gank where he might int it, and it would have been a free kill.
So you just went for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was that gank there, and then
I don't think it was this game. Maybe
failed bot gank. Yeah, because I mean that's the only thing I said that was failed. Maybe it was that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think it was the Twisted Fate one. I think Niski was playing Twisted Fate. Let's look at the little thing again.
Yeah,
let's just go to 630.
630.
Yeah.
I guess I can already talk about it now. Okay, so the reason I'm ganking here is because, yeah, if you pause it there, can you go back a bit? Or, yeah, there.
Forward. Yep.
Yeah, there. The reason I'm ganking here is because we have a slow push in bot lane, and I just want to push it, make sure we push it, and then bot lane has to catch the wave, and we can get the Drake for free.
Okay, so you're thinking about utilizing your snowball to kill the next wave that's coming up here?
Yeah. I'm not thinking about the kill, because if they step up here, they are just noobs. There's no reason for them to step up because the wave is already pushing towards them. So there's no reason for them to step up. I'm just trying to get the wave pushed as fast as possible, and then we can go to the Drake as a team instead of me going alone and them having a slight gank opportunity. Because if Zach looks, there's a chance for him to gank on this slow push, and if I'm on the Drake, I cannot help my team. So I just want to get the wave pushed and make sure that they're not in danger and they can help me.
All right, so I call this a foul gank, but you call it a pressure gank, basically based on the reasons there. Makes a lot of sense. So how would you like define a pressure gank? It's like you're getting an objective off it, or
if I want my bot lane to reset, I will kind of force them to reset, right? If I push the wave, there's no reason for them to stay. But in this case, I'm just pushing it to make sure that they don't get ganked by Zach, and I'm alone on the Drake and I cannot help them. So if I push this, there's no opportunity for Zach to gank, and we walk as a team towards the Drake. And enemy bot lane has to catch the wave, so they're not able to move.
So you're essentially controlling your bot lane. I mean, your laners, right?
I'm low-key micromanaging. What? Why can't I say it? Micromanaging them. There we go.
I love that, because so many lower yellow players that I coach be like, oh, like my team just like dying and stuff like that. Like this is such a great way to think about, okay, I'm just going to go into lane, literally be with them to literally just push it in, and they physically can't. I mean, maybe they'll walk up and just hit the tower and die, but ideally they don't do that, right?
That's a possibility in low elo, but it's not possible in high elo. They also know what they're doing, right? So I'll force this push to make sure that nothing can go wrong.
All right. Was there any other points in here that you saw that?
No, I don't think there's anything too big to go over.
One thing I pointed out here is there's very little counter jungling looking at this. I like to emphasize that point. Compared to, like, say, other junglers like Lilia or something like that, like they love taking the Raptors and stuff. How do you think about counter jungling as Nunu? Is that something? I mean, is that just the way these games went? You didn't really need to, or?
I mean, it all depends on the game. Like it depends on if we split the map at some point, because you can split the map in the middle of the game pretty much. If you gank bot and enemies see an opportunity to take your camps, then you can just take his pretty much. So it all depends on the game, if I count the jungle or not.
All right. Yep, I think that wraps it up here. I had some key takeaways. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. The big one I want to take away is punishing enemy laners with no flash. Free ganks is Nunu, right? Like, do you really want to re-gank whenever you burn a flash?
Yeah, I mean, that also depends on the game or what I have on my team. But yeah, if enemies have no flash, then you, like, just go for them, right? Find your opportunity to gank them again, pretty much. If it's a Syndra, he has stun, and he can only stun one of you, either you or the mid laner, and then usually he dies because he doesn't have flash, right? So if I burn a flash, I will definitely keep my eye on the lane and the lane state, and then punish it if I see an opportunity.
All right, so let's get into some of your games now, Hidon. Actually, I wanted to quickly do a quick little OPGG review, Hidon. Looking at some of your builds and matchups and stuff. Obviously, we talked about here, you had a bit of a rough day of solo queue yesterday. There's not much Nunu in here because you said it's just getting banned at the moment. Is that what's going on?
It's getting banned every game.
Is that against you specifically, or is it just banned?
It can be against me if people know I'm in queue, and they obviously know that I'm a very good Nunu player, so they will ban it. Or it's just because there's so many Nunu players right now in high-elo. Or people that can't play Nunu. So people will ban it.
So going over some build examples here. You lost this game. You weren't really ahead, but you still went W second.
Yeah, so this game, they don't really have high mobility. Like I will be able to catch them with my W, most of them. So here I went for W. But yeah, I don't know. I think I was autopiloting here, but I would probably go E if I had the opportunity to go back.
And no Dark Seal this game at all, did you?
No, I was not able to snowball, and I could already figure that out early on. So I just tried to do what I could in terms of tankiness.
Okay, that leads me to my next question here. What jungle matchups do you hate playing against as Nunu?
I mean, Nunu doesn't really have bad matchups. It all depends on the lane matchups. So if you play versus a jungler that can invade very easily, like Graves, Lilia, and enemy laners have prio, then it's going to be a very hard game for you. But if they don't have prio, then it doesn't matter if he's playing an invading jungler or not. Because he can't invade you without prio most of the time. Because you are not going to get one shot. You're obviously playing a tank. So
yeah. So you think it's more based on laners. So let's say, what laners do you hate playing against?
I guess I hate playing against Kalista sets, maybe. Because even if you catch them with your snowball, they usually can just turn it around. And they can force prio in most cases. But Kalista is not really meta right now, so that's not a problem for me. But yeah, I mean, prio also bounces. Usually you don't have prio all the time in one lane. So I don't really have anything where I say, okay, the game is lost, right? As Nunu.
And what about champs that you hate playing with? Is there champs like so you think this is unwinnable as Nunu?
You don't like Yuumi or Janna because they both. I mean, Yuumi can work, but Janna, she can ult out of your ult. She can ult people out of your ult, and she doesn't really she doesn't really give you any reliable CC. So if I were to choose, I would always go for like Naut, Kalista, Fresh, Sets, Alistar, something that with CC. But usually it's on the support role. Like you don't really want a Arden champ, like Janna, Lulu, stuff like that.
So really, it's just like the support. So you don't really care about. One thing that I talked about in my guide, my season 10 Nunu guide, was the importance. Like I love playing with champs like AD mid laners, because I mean they just follow up your CC, right? Like I love playing with like a Talon, Zed, Yasuo. Obviously works off with your ult combo. Yone, I think Yone is really good. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, all champs can literally work with Nunu. That's the thing.
What about Akali mid?
Yeah, I mean that's probably one of the matchups where one of the champs I would not like to see on my champ or in my game. But even that is okay. Like if she is good into enemy comp, then sure. Like you're a tank. You can match up or you can do well with pretty much every champion in the game.
What about a team where you lack damage? You have a heavy tank team.
That's really bad. That's like the worst. That's the worst thing that can happen for Nunu, because in that case you're usually forced to go AP and be like you see that one game on your screen right now where I went AP. I went 11-0-22 or something.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you view not damage because of the way that I view low damage.
We have damage here. I just got super fed.
You got super fed. Yeah. Like let's say if you had a Galio mid on top.
Yeah, and then it would be really bad. Like there's not a lot of damage, and if you go later on into the game, then it's gonna be a rough game for you. So definitely, like the worst thing that can happen if you're playing Nunu is that you don't have damage in the other lanes.
What about champs? Like, let's say he had a Ziggs mid or a Xerath mid or some poke champ. Those champs good with Nunu?
They can work. Like Xerath can work. Ziggs is also like fine. He can hit ult on your snowball and always hit it in the middle. Q as well. But yeah, 80 champs would definitely be like the way to go because of the way that you build and you're an AP champion, so AP and AD always will go well together, right? And that's.
I have to ask about a Mumu, Hidon. What do you think about playing against Mumu? Is Mumu like OP now? You got a little nerfs because of the Sunfire thing, right?
Yeah, he's really good, but that's like a fine matchup for you. That's a good matchup for you, even because he's not doing pretty well on the gank department, where you are doing very well, and he's not really able to counter gank your first initial gank. So you're fine with that matchup, because all you need to think about is on Nunu is like ganks and how you can find good ganks.
What about into champs like Trundle and Warwick?
I mean, I never see Warwick, right? So
obviously it's a low elo thing, right?
Yeah. I never really see Warwick.
Yeah.
But even that is probably fine. But Trundle also is good. Like the only thing he can do is pillar your W, but that's it. You have face rush, so he can't steal your stats with ult, and he can't ever kill you because you can just run away from him. So even that is fine. Like I don't care if I play with Trundle. I'm even happy if I see Trundle.
And what's your ban right now, Hidon? Do you have multiple bans? Is it based on who you're playing against in solo queue and stuff like that?
I kind of ban random right now. I'm just banning the first champ I see, I think.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I'm fine with playing with everything because then you might learn something. Because there's some people in Halo that have like weird or fun strats, and then you might learn from that. So I'm not really thinking of LP right now. I'm just thinking more about learning.
I like it. I like the mindset. All right, so let's go into the first VOD here. This is a game you won on your stream. I think it was yesterday, so this is pretty fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
All right, so if you tab here, we can talk about what we're thinking here in terms of game plan. All right, so what are you thinking here? You're in champ select, you're in loading screen. How are you thinking you're going to win this game?
All right, so instantly, I see that I have Cinched versus Cal's up. I don't care. Cinched is not going to carry the game, and he even went Fleet to just sustain. So clear, weak sides. You have a clear and paper cut weak side, Cinched. So don't play around Cinched. You have Samira, Alistar bot lane, a lot of CC. Like Samira can even CC on your CC because it's a season 11 champ. So we're that's a very fucking good duo with Alistar. So if we hit one CC on one of the enemy bot lanes, they die 100%. So yeah, clear bot lane gank. And mid lane is just a you can also gank mid lane here, right? But you want to make sure that Vayne doesn't get a hit and steamroll your entire comp. And you want to put Samira ahead.
All right, so you go blue smite this game. So in hindsight, is blue smite still the way to go?
What was the... Yeah, there we go. I mean, I don't care about this in. So First of all, I look at the matchup in the jungle. I say, okay, listen, he's never gonna do anything to me personally, so no reason to go red smite. Yon, I could go red smite for him, but I just want to make sure that if we CC a target, then they will die because I have blue smite and even more slow, right? So I don't really need red smite this game, so I went for blue smite. If you don't feel like you need red smite, then there's no reason to go it. But that's obviously because I have so many games on Nunu, so I probably played every scenario at this point.
And that ward reset to sweeper, you always ward outside your red buff. How do you deal with invades level 1?
Sometimes I do it like in lower elo. When I play in lower elo, like on ranked to challenger or something, I would go for the ward on enemy raptors or red buff because you can always just go in there. No one really covers. But in high elo games, there's always 1 or 2 people covering there, making sure that you can't just step in their jungle for free. So in that case, I would just ward for myself and make sure that I'm not gonna be fucked if they go for lane invade and we die, right? So if I do get lane invaded, I will just go to my bot side because dying is worse than dying and get like losing time. So I just cut my losses and go for the red side unless I feel like they don't have any CC or kill pressure on me. I will just go for the steal because I'm obviously playing Nunu, so I have Q smite.
So I did talk about this in just my experience with Nunu as well. I think that this ward is purely just to know if you're getting lane invaded or something like that, right? So then you know to adapt. You just go to your bot side.
Yeah, if you get lane invaded, it's rough. It's the only real option they have of missing.
Destroy a Nunu. Yeah, that's right. That's what I feel as well. If you don't mess up a Nunu level 1, it's like if you can jungle me, it's fine. Like I mean, you can't kill me in the jungle. I'll consume and smite.
Yeah. It's just the early levels, they are rough. If you can get through the early levels, the jungle matchup is never really what's it called? Like a threat. The jungle matchup usually isn't a threat early on. But I mean early on if you have levels. But if you don't have levels, it's rough. Here's also a little trick. I think I do it. Like if you W while running towards your raptors, yeah, you see here. Now you don't have to kill the small ones.
Because they die naturally. Okay, super interesting.
Yeah, and you only need. I actually learned that from Kesha. That was him who thought of that one. So, because you already need to run with it, right? So you might as well let them die.
Why don't you clear the entire Krug camp?
I mean, the gold is whatever, and you just need like 4 or 3 of them to get level 3. So the only thing that matters is the gold. Not the gold, the XP.
The XP, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't really care if you don't get like the 21 gold or something. It's not important. It's just the levels and the speed, because the tempo is what really matters.
So obviously you know of Pants of Dragon. He got rank 1 NA Nunu last season.
I know who this.
I don't know if he popularized it, but this path that he will do on Nunu frequently is Red Raptors Gromp into like a gank straight away. What do you think about this path? Do you go this path at all? Like,
do you need sometimes to go gank? If the lane state is good, then I will go for it. Like here, for example, the lane state is good, so there's a possibility for me to gank, and I think I also do it. Yeah, the lane state is super good. They have to push it in, or they're fucked. So it's a free gank for me.
And do you always love to start sweeper? Because obviously you're not going to clear a ward. So what's the idea behind popping sweeper before you snowball?
Popping sweeper, there's a slight possibility that they don't see you if they don't look at minimap right away. So you disable the ward. I think it's already disabled, so they might not see me, but they should obviously see me. They might not though. So there is a possibility of me, and if I see the ward, then I know it's there, so it doesn't matter if I clear it or not.
So what do you think of this gank? Would you call this a fail gank? You show on the map and technically not really do much. Is this a pressure gank? How do you review this?
I mean,
why did this gank not go well?
They see me on the ward, right? So they will back off. But I mean, they lost the cannon, so I would call that fine. And the wave is pushing, so it doesn't matter if they know that I'm there. I know the ward is there, and I know when it will expire. So there will be an opportunity for me to gank later on, and I don't care about Listen being there.
What do you think about ganking from? I'll just play it this direction here. Do you do this much? Like if you were to loop up here and then gank?
Yeah, I do that sometimes. Definitely, I do it sometimes. The reason I smited there was because I need to go bot lane right away, or I will not get anything, and I just popped the Tom.
Clean. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, it was a bit close. And here, the wave is gonna be bad if I don't push it. No, it's not. I mean, it will be pushed. And now, because the wave is pushed in, there's gonna be built 2 waves under the tower before it will push. So in my mind, I'm already thinking about ganking bot lane again and how to do it. And I know that the wave will be good in about 45 seconds. So I'm thinking of already ganking bot lane, and here I obviously get invaded, but I'm Nunu, so I'm fine.
So is there an option to reset right now and then spend your gold, get boots and Barmy Cinder, and then come straight back bot?
Yeah, there is, but I'm not thinking of Listen ganking me or being in my jungle right now for some reason. I am kind of autopilot, I guess. So, but yeah, I don't think of him killing me at any point because I have enough HP right now to run out or whatever. So I'm just already thinking about ganking bot lane. But yeah, sure, you can reset and get what you need. Yeah. But yeah, usually I want to reset on Dark Seal. So I think I'm already thinking about I need a little bit more gold and then I can get Dark Seal as well. As you see there, I just looked at the wave to see when it will be good. And it's gonna be good in a bit. So I'm just looking bot lane here. And the reason I smite is because I want to be full HP for the gank. If Listen counter ganks, I'm thinking of Listen counter ganking already here. And how it could be bad for us, but Sinch is ready to TP. He pinged that he's ready to TP, and he's TPing here, and it ends up being really, really well, right? So
that's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. And now bot lane is kind of fucked. Here I'm making a mistake in a bit. Yeah, go ahead.
So you'd say, let's say someone learning Nunu and ganking, obviously when you look at this, one of my coaching clients actually said, watching your game, the gameplay review that I did of you, he's sitting in gold and he's like, he doesn't do crazy plays, nothing too exciting. But obviously there's a lot of thought process going into these ganks, you're looking at waves a lot. And what I find from lower elo players is people's map awareness, they're not really thinking about lanes. It's they're probably just looking on the mini map and it's oh, he looks like he's overextended. Let's just go for the W, right?
Yeah.
So what sort of advice would you give to people? And what are good ganks? How do you make sure you're doing good ganks as Nunu?
Okay, so in order to get better at ganking, you need to learn how minions work. You need to learn what happens if you do X, Z, Y. So here, I know that the wave is pushed, before this gank. I know that the wave is pushed, a long time ago. When I pushed in the wave, the minions will stack, and then they will push faster towards us. And in that case, there's gonna be a gank opportunity, right? So you need to learn how minions work.
So you're thinking a minute ahead, really?
Yeah,
a minute and a half ahead.
I'm usually always trying to think 1 minute, 2 minutes ahead of the game, so I already have it in my mind what's gonna happen. because I knew that Lee Sin was going to counter gank. He was spot side, and I knew it was going to happen. But because Singed was ready to TP and give up his lane, kind of, because the wave is pushed, I was going to go for it anyways, because bot lane is really what matters in this game. And he also knows that. Singed knows that he's not going to carry the game. Bot lane is going to carry the game, so we need to play around that.
Great, we got a nice ad here. Hopefully this money's going to you, Hidon.
Hopefully.
So do you exclusively coach Nunu players, or you just jungle coach in general?
I coach lanes as well.
And you obviously get probably a lot of Nunu players come to you, or was actually surprising? Do you find a lot of people playing Nunu?
Like a lot of people started playing Nunu, but he was not that popular. But yeah, actually, I don't have a lot of Nunu players in particular, because I know how to play lane. I've got master in every single lane, and I was one trick Nunu, right? But not really anymore. But now I'm kind of getting back into it, like playing Nunu. So I think, yeah, lately I've been getting like 4 or 5 Nunu players who wants to get coached.
Is there a common trend you see between like Nunu players? Like, what do you think a Nunu player's biggest mistake is that you see often?
I mean, it's not really like a Nunu mistake. It's mostly just low elo junglers. They don't understand how lane works. If you don't understand how lane works, then you kind of don't understand how jungle works, because jungle is all about lane knowledge. So if you understand lanes, then you will understand how to jungle, kind of. Because I didn't myself play jungle for 1 year, and I got better at jungling, because, this gank was really overforced, like super, super overforced. So one thing you also have to think about is don't overreach, like don't get greedy. But that's something that you can say for everything, right? But
yeah, I mean, you're sitting on 1900 gold right as well, right? Probably want to get back to base.
It's super, super greedy. But we're just trying to deny the wave from Vayne. So like, it's kind of fine. We got the TP, we got Vayne to lose 1.5 wave, and only thing we lost was an Alistar, right? So it was low-key worth it, honestly.
Another common question I get as well is, obviously, playing high elo, low elo is like a lot different. You, as Nunu, you put your resources a lot into one lane, and then like they don't carry, or like they screw up. How do you sort of deal with that, you think?
So for myself, like when I go unranked accounts, I'm not playing Nunu, because Nunu is a champ that plays for laners and not himself. So if you don't feel like you can rely on your laners to carry, I would not recommend Nunu. But if you do feel like that, you can just if you feel like you can only play Nunu, just go for a more AP build, and then you're actually able to solo carry the games.
So if you were to play in low elo, like unranked challenge, you would just play OP Nunu. Like, do you think you could still get to high elo playing tank, or the way you play Nunu in high elo?
I think it's possible, yeah, because of my game knowledge. But if you don't have the game knowledge, I think it will be rough for sure. So I think, I mean, if I'm playing lower elo, I would definitely go for a more AP heavy build, so that you're able to carry yourself as well, and not just rely on your teammates, because you can't rely on your teammates in lower elo. Sometimes I can't even rely on my teammates in high elo, so definitely.
Oh, so then how are you thinking about closing this game out now, Hidon? How are you going to win this game in 15 minutes?
I mean, we are fine scaling here. So in my mind, I'm not like, I don't feel like we're on a timer or anything. Obviously they have Vayne, but we're okay. We are okay with scaling. We don't feel like the game is lost if we keep scaling. So I don't feel like we're on a timer. You can't, like, yeah.
So how will you play differently if you feel like you're not on a timer? Like, what does that mean? Like, how do you translate that into like your gameplay?
If you feel like you're on a timer and you are gonna lose the game at a certain point, then you need to force a little bit, but don't overforce. If it makes sense to you, like, don't force so far that you're just gonna lose the game instantly. Because even if you do get outskilled, people are always gonna make mistake in solo queue. Doesn't matter what elo it is. People will make mistakes. So don't feel like the game is just lost if you keep scaling. You just have to look for the right opportunity because it will come. In 9 out of 10 games, people will make mistakes and you can capitalize on it. And here again, bot lane is super overextended, so it's a free gank. Like if people overextend against Nunu, they die every time. Bonk.
So you haven't looked top like once. You literally don't care about top lane at all this game.
Yeah, even if top lane dies like 10 times, it's not the win condition, and I don't care what Shinj does this game. Like I haven't even F-keyed at him once. I don't care what happens in top lane, but he's doing well. Like he's even ahead in CS, I think, playing weak side. So in my mind, the game is already kind of won. And here is, if you go back a bit, you will see me freezing the wave. Like I think 1 minute. This is also something I thought about before it happened. Go back a little further.
Are you saying mid lane?
Yeah, it's in mid lane. Further back. Further. Just next time you see me in mid lane. Is any dead? Can we see it?
I mean before you.
Okay, no. It was here. Just keep going. It's after any dies. Then I will go mid and freeze the wave, which is also something you can do as a jungler, and then you can kind of force the next gank. But I fucked it up. I fucked up the gank. So just next time any dies, then you'll see what I do. Which is also like a really insane thing that junglers like that even can do that. And you should also use it in your games. It's here, like after she dies. You'll see what happens.
I guess you thought Yone was going back to the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like if he went back,
that lasts a long time. Like he doesn't have to, right? If anything, he just like wins out that play because like you're not going to hit a Yone as I think in any situation there.
If you stop here.
Okay. Yep.
Look, you can just keep going and then I'll explain it here. Like I'm just holding the wave so that there's a favorable position for me to gank the Yone again. So I'm just making sure that this wave will freeze for Annie, and then Yone will miss a wave, and there's gonna be an opportunity for me to gank. If you see now, like I left, but the wave will be super good, and already now I'm thinking about ganking Yone because there's a good wave in mid lane right now, and there's gonna be like see here, I even explained it on the stream, I think, but Yone has to step up to clear this wave if Annie keeps the freeze, so I will look for a gank there.
But you're basing here. You're looking to base.
I'm not recalling. I'm just waiting for the waiting for the grump.
Okay. So you're thinking of ganking this after you get out of base, or you?
No, after this one. But I fucked it up.
Okay.
Because Annie is holding the freeze, and Yone has to.
Yeah.
Stop it. But Yone is just using E because I didn't think of that in the game. But yeah, he's obviously just using E and then clearing it, going back to E because that's a champ. And then I dived him. That was super int and super overforced. Like, look at my gold.
400 gold shot down, 2,700 gold. Oh, yeah. This is a bit of a throw, Hidon.
That's something you really don't want to do. Doesn't matter what champ you play, what lane you play. You don't want to overforce like that. I have so much gold, so this is just super int. Even if we get the kill, it's not worth it. But yeah, we should just have been happy with having the freeze in mid lane and him losing a wave.
So why is it not worth it to get the kill there?
The risk of diving him there it's never gonna be worth it because I'm giving 700 gold, and that's a little opportunity for Yone to carry the game. Like let's say he uses that 700 gold to get a rage blade or something. And then that might even be able to like turn the entire game or a fight, and then that fight will snowball into them winning another fight and then winning the entire game. So it's all about thinking ahead. So it's never going to be worth, even if we get the kill. And I think he even starts smashing mid lane after that kill. So Like, even if I'm ahead, you still have to think of how do I not throw my lead at this point.
So I mean, you could sort of guess you went on. You said that you're just comfortable scaling and just waiting for it to make mistakes. You sort of went against your own advice here,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Mm.
Like I went against what I just said we shouldn't do, right? So just if you're comfortable scaling, don't overforce. You just have to be fine with what's happening in the game.
So you know that, right? And you can tell me about this, but why do you think you do it in game? What's the mindset behind it?
I think it's just autopilot. Like
it's autopiloting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, sure. I see kill equals usually winning the game, so I go for the kill.
I think I just see kill and I'm like, okay, let's go for it, right? Even high-elo players, like, you know that you won the game, but yet you still want to fight. It's just something that sometimes I do it. If I don't autopilot, I would not do it for sure. But sometimes if I stream, I just autopilot, and it's definitely not the way to go. But hey, what can you do about it other than try to fix it? I think right now the game is kind of over, and it's just gonna be a lot of fighting from here on out.
All right. Well, yep. So I guess this sort of summary of that game: ganked, reganked bot, take that was your second dragon there, play it and completely ignore top, weak side.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously don't overforce, because even though we were hit, I made like 2 crucial mistakes. But yeah, you have to realize when is it okay to not keep fighting and just chill, get back in base and get your full item on 2,700 gold. You just gotta think. That's all it is. There is to it.
All right, so this is a game that you lose. We just went over a game where you won pretty convincingly. Tell me about what your thought process is here in this game. What's the win condition?
This game, I can gank every single lane, but we have a lot of damage in bot lane. And we have CC with Jhin and Syra. Both of them can like set up each other. So in this game, again, bot lane, decent place to gank. Top lane, also you can gank top lane because Camille has CC, but Jhin is kind of whatever, right? So like this game, I can gank every single lane, but I think I go for bot lane.
So again, I want to prioritize bot lane.
Yeah, but you can't gank everywhere, so you don't have to say, okay, but no, top lane is just a clear weak side. Top lane can just be weak side for the first 3-4 minutes. And then, like, every single lane is gankable. That's what I'm saying. There is games like this, but yeah, obviously you have to choose somewhere to go in the beginning of the game. And he's just.
So you're happy with leashless here? You think leashless is fine, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. You just have to kite the camp. Make sure that you play around your QCD. But I think I even smite it. No, probably not. It looks like it's low enough for me to just not do it. I smited it, yeah.
So do you want to be smited it? Do you feel like, what's the decision to smite it there?
I shouldn't smite it.
Okay.
Like, you should always save smite for the golems, just to clear them faster if you go for golems. If not, then you can smite it and go for the raptor clear. But yeah, there's no point in doing that, because you will get full HP no matter what. It's just a bit of autopilot again, I would say.
So you didn't do that trick you talked about last game?
Yeah.
With the W snowball, was there any reason for that, or?
I think it was on CD.
Okay, sure. So so your snowball has to be up for you to do it, essentially.
Yeah, of course. There's no point. You just have to clear a small amount of them, and then you're fine to just keep going.
Yeah. So as long as there's 2 like little of the really, really mini ones alive, like that's fine. You'll get level 3 off raptors.
Yeah.
Okay, just literally at level 3. Yeah. So you get 2 little mini ones off. Yeah. You don't need any mid experience.
Yeah. And bot lane is not gankable, so I'm not looking for a gank just yet. It's not possible for us to dive them, so I'm not looking at it right now. I'm just looking to clear. until I see an opportunity. And if I see an opportunity, I will insta leave. And here I'm already kiting towards my camp because it's really important that you kite towards your camp to cut off seconds. Because like 3 seconds, it could be what like makes the difference in terms of the gank or counter ganking. And I know there's an opportunity for Lilia to gank right now. I'm already thinking about it, so I will look bot and I insta go. And we get the kill on Lilia here.
So did you actively know that Lilia started blue this game?
Yeah, I saw Shin come late to lane, and bot lane didn't. Like that's also a really important thing. It doesn't matter what champ you play or. I think we really run it down here. I'm not sure. No, we just get the flash. Yeah,
that's good.
So, yeah, it's really important that you look at the laners and who comes to lane first and who comes to the lane delayed, because then you know who is where enemy jungler started, and you can kind of track that way.
So you're thinking about re-ganking Twitch's flash? I mean, obviously you talked about bot a lot, right? So
yeah,
how are you thinking about how are you going to re-gank bot here? What are you thinking? How are you going to path around that?
I'm just looking at bot wave right now and seeing if there's an opportunity. And obviously they showed mid lane here. He dies. And then I know Lucian is alone. And I'm going to go for it because he is alone. And I think he dies. Yeah, he dies.
So tell me a little bit here. Like this, I would say there's so many situations where a lower elo player would miss this W. How do you think about angling the W against a Lucian with E?
I mean, you just have to. Can we see it one more time? Yeah, I mean, you just have to make sure that even if you don't hit, then he's forced to step back into your support.
So you want to like go in front of him or like just on the edge of your snowball?
Exactly. I want to make sure that even if I don't hit it, he's forced to walk back and take damage from Zyra. And then she will make up for the damage that I missed. Because you don't have to hit it, you just have to make sure that he's forced to go back and not go in front, right? So even like try to always angle the snowball so that enemies are forced to walk back, even if you miss it, because then they will still die.
And you would say this is the best first buy you could possibly get.
Yeah,
this is
This is perfect. Maybe like a pink ward, but this is autopilot as well. Like I know that Lilia is topside and stealing my camps, so I should just instantly go bot side, and then maybe I could steal her camps. But right now, I'm missing.
What are we thinking is going straight to her Raptors? So ideally, you go out of base, go straight to her Raptors. I mean, look for opportunities to gank, but just don't go topside at all.
Yeah, don't go topside. It's already gone against a good jungler. It's already gone, and I have to think of the enemy jungler as a good jungler, and what he would do. So here it was super end of me, and I lost a lot of time, and maybe I'm not even able to get his Raptors here. So that is a really big mistake, like wasting time. Yeah, and a gank here without looking at Shin.
So you just weren't accounting for Shen ult?
Yeah, I was not accounting for the Shin ult, and then I died, and it ruins my tempo as well. Like now, Lily is gonna be ahead of me, really far ahead of me. She will hit 6 before I'm even close to 6.
Yeah, I find Lilia, if Lilia gets ahead like this, I feel like it's such a hard matchup.
Yeah,
you don't view the matchup. It's like I suddenly can't win any skirmish. Like if she counter against me, I'm just dead. You know, like I can't even get away from her because of her ult. You know, and she just runs. She's like faster than me. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's also right. Like if you fall behind versus champs like Kha'Zix or Hecarim, Lilia, then it's unplayable. And here I just want to push out the wave because my Zoe is slow, so I want to make sure that we can push the wave.
So is this a pressure gank or?
No, this is just to help him push out. Yeah,
okay.
This is just a push out gank. But yeah, I'm wasting a lot of time walking around instead of just tracking enemy jungler.
So you're thinking about being bot ASAP now? What's your thought process here,
Hidon? Yeah, top lane is... You could maybe dive it, but it's risky. And if bot lane falls behind, it's gonna be very hard for us to win the game. So I'm thinking about bot lane. In this case, I'm pretty sure, if not to kill them, then to at least help them push out the wave, as I did in mid lane. But yeah, they're obviously resetting. Enemy jungler could be on the Drake, but he's Lilia, so he doesn't really want to solo it. So here I'm thinking about the Drake, I'm pretty sure. Maybe after giving the blue buff. And Shen is moving to river, so they could be on the rift here. But like they're ganking mid lane, right? It's a bit.
So is this a thing in Challenger? Twitch support, like
yeah,
what is it?
red URL, like popular alert. It's so fucking broken.
Interesting. And it just perma roams
really
mid.
I mean, it roams, but when you hit, like, you go Nash's Tooth and Revenants, and then your ticks from passive, like from poison, does like 200, 300 damage each tick. It's so fucking broken. But yeah, I would still prefer having like Pantheon and out, but if it gets a hit, it's really, really rough. But yeah, we're trying to set up some vision around the Drake before we go for it, so that we know if they're coming or not. That's also really crucial. That low elo players should do as well. If you want to go for an objective, at least make sure that you have decent vision around the objective first. But right now the game is looking fine, right? You
have 71 CS in 9 minutes. You're pretty strong right now still, even though like Lilia's strong, you're also strong.
Yeah, I'm strong. But we make a crucial mistake at some point. I think it's here. It's even here.
So I guess it's the same mistake, not thinking about Shenhold, right?
Yeah, we're not thinking about Shenhold. And he just comes in and cleans up the entire fight. And this is really, really rough.
Nope.
That's again what? Clean from Camille.
Okay. Well, Camille comes out, so some sort of recovery there, not too bad. Alright, so why go top here out of base, not bot?
Okay, so this is really crucial. The reason I'm doing this is so that I can freeze the top wave. I'm just waiting a bit. I have a opportunity to just take the camp, go top, and then freeze it. And here's where we really fuck up. It's mostly me, but this is where the game gets really rough, and it's my fault, pretty much alone.
So again, you're freezing it to gank Shen. Is that what you're doing here?
I'm not really freezing it to gank. I'm just freezing so that Camille has a favorable lane state. And here I'm kind of going for the Shen, which I should never do. And then I'm getting ambushed by the support and the support. They took the blast cone. And now with this stack wave that they have, they're able to dive Camille.
Right? Oh wow!
And now it's really, really rough. Camille lost like 3-4 waves, and yeah, I died as well, obviously.
So how do you review this? What was the mistake you made here?
The mistake I made was that I went after Shen for a bit too long, and I went into my jungle with no knowledge of mid lane and support. Like, I don't know where they are, so this is super.
And they know where you are, right?
Yeah. So, and this kind of costs the entire game. It makes the game really rough to play for Camille, and I'm really far behind.
So you'd say that's where the game was lost?
I mean, it's not lost. It's still winnable, but it's way harder to win than it should be now. because they get a full top tower. Camille loses 4 or 5 waves. They get Rift. They put the Rift top, I think, and then Camille is out of the game. Not really much will happen now. They will just take the Rift and then I think kill Zoe. And there's not really much we can do about it. And I'm looking for Melzar because he's all extended and we get the flash.
They take Rift Herald.
Yeah. And then I think there's one more big mistake from the entire team, which just cost the game.
So who's your win condition right now? If you have someone to play around specifically, what are you thinking? Or are you just trying to find any opportunity you can get? You can't really choose at this point.
Right now, there's not like a clear win condition. We have like Camille who can split push and maybe win against against Shin early on, or later on into the game. But there's not something like we can play around right now. I'm just looking for any opportunity possible. And here they put the Herald, but they respect that I'm in fog of war, and we don't get anything. I think I might even die here. Yeah, okay, we don't get anything. Or what? Yeah, I think it's just frustration.
That looks pretty forced, right? That's a pretty forced gank.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These are the ganks you really want to avoid. Yeah, like I think it's just frustration from my part. That's what happened early on into the game. I think I even missed the snowball here. Yeah.
And then Shen ult again. Every single time it's the Shen ult.
Yeah.
Man, Shen's a OP solo queue champ in Challenger, it looks like.
I mean, he's good. Like every single game where he is in, people just forget that he's part of the game and then you die. Or you lose the game kinda only because of him. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now the game is lost. But if we were to recap, it's just like you need to stay focused at all times in the game, and then you need to respect the fact that people haven't been showing for a long period of time. And I'm giving information out that I'm on the map and they know where I am, so it's possible for them to punish me. But yeah, now the game is over.
All right. So yep, global ults, guys. We need to be thinking about that. Twist of Fate, Galio, and apparently Twitch. If you see it in your solo queue games, you need to respect it heavily because apparently Rat RL's popularized it. All right. Well, that was really helpful. I want to go over my games now. 2 of my games, if you have time, Hidon.
Yep.
And I want to compare. So I want to show you. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just going to actually get your thoughts first. So it's like, what would you do this game? And then we'll see what I do. So I'm going to show you a game that I win and lose. We'll probably just go over the early game here because the game was won and lost pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So let's get this up. All right. So this game, I'm taking a little out of your book, testing your runes here, Hidon, going absolute focus and tenacity. So I think I was pretty. I think I tested out a couple of games before this. And I was like, this feels pretty good. Let's keep doing this. Yeah. If we were to look at the comps here, I should be able to tab. So I'm going blue smart this game. We'll need to look at the comps. All right. So what are you thinking game plans here, Hidon?
All right. So Eve is not going to be like a factor for you. You should not be thinking about her. There's like sometimes I do some things when I play versus Eve and Katus, because I'm playing versus Melis sometimes, and he obviously plays those champs. So if I do play versus that, and enemy top laner is not something that can like do much about me invading, then I will start snowball and I will take enemy raptors and red buff, and then
level
go back
1.
to my level 1.
Interesting. I like
And
that a lot.
It works sometimes, because if she can't do anything about it, and she will not be on the raptors, so it can work. But for that to work, you need to go sweeper level 1, and then you need to make sure that you are channeling your sweeper instantly to see if they know where you are. Because if they don't know where you are, then after he clears his top side, he's going to his bot side. He goes to his top side, and his camps are missing, right? And he's completely fucked. And it can just give you a little early advantage. So in this game, you could go for it, but bot lane is a clear gank opportunity for you. You have Leona, good CC. You have Kai'Sa, works well with Nunu and Leona. And then you have enemy bot lane who is Taric and Yi. No, Taric and Jen, so they can't get away from you.
So is this a game you would start blue because you need to be bot ASAP, or are you going to try and do a level 3 gank by invade Krug's Raptors? How would you path around bot because it's such a clear win condition?
I think here I would go red golems, and then if the wave is good, then I will go bot lane level 2, because they have to flash, they have to respect you. And if the wave is not good, then I will firstly look at my raptors, and then after I hit 3, I could look for a bot gank. But starting blue is completely fine. Because then you're gonna be bot side, and there's no camps for Evelyn to steal. This is something I wrote in my guide as well. Like if you're playing with Eve or something, you want to make sure there's no camps for her to steal after you're doing a gank or something. So you're playing 2 completely different playstyles. Eve wants to farm, and you want to gank. So you want to make sure that there's as little farm for her to take as possible. So blue is fine. You just need to clear all 3 of the camps. Then you can look into red, or you can go bot instantly, because you don't need red buff to do a good gank on Nunu. Yeah, and I would not go for this, because you don't have any CC in mid lane. So ganking mid
is super low percentage, right?
Yeah, but you might still get the kill. I guess you get the kill, right? Yeah, it works out. But
so obviously, it's like it's easy to look in hindsight. It's like, well, it looks like it works out, right?
Yeah, it looks like it works because it's a kill, right?
The thought process there, simple enough. I think I just wanted to try it because I'm like, well, I'm starting to believe. Okay, you know what my thought process was here as well? I was like, fuck, I really don't want to do. I feel like I want to be on the map. I don't want to do Gromp and Wolves. So I wanted to do anything opposite of that. And then I'm also thinking, okay, it's a range matchup into Akali. She's probably going to be trying to bully her early, so maybe he's going to be pushing, which he was. I was looking at the wave.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, if he's just insta pushing the wave, then there's an opportunity for it. I mean, it ends up working out, right? And if you're playing versus like mages like Syndra, even Yasuo, Yone, Victor as well, then you can go for a level 2 gank. But I would prefer to have red buff then for the slow, so that even if he flashes, you might even get the kill because of the slow. Yeah. So if you're going for level 2 gank,
you want red buff.
I would prefer to have red buff.
So what do you think about this? This is what I've been talking a lot about in terms of my Nunu reviews. It's much easier to gank from blue side because it's much easier to gank these paths than like through here. What do you think?
It is for sure. Like the reason the gank works is because it's so unexpected. Like
that's right. That's the other thing also is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Blue star.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense for you to come there. So Victor's not even prepared to flash because it's so unexpected and stupid in a way.
It is literally.
So it's not. There's no point of like he's not prepared to react for it or to it. So it works out, right? And I would also like look to level 2 gank mid sometimes. I have done it as well. If they're playing with if they're playing what's it called? If they're playing AP scaling mages with low mobility or Yasuo, then you can look for it. And bot lane dies here.
So what would you do now, Hidon?
I would either look to look for the bot wave, but it should be possible for them to push it out before Jin gets there. I'm not sure because you're not looking at the wave, but it looks like it's gonna be pushed out. And then you see Camille and Riven trading heavily. So here would probably go top lane. Because bot lane is not gankable and it's not possible for them to dive the owner. So, and they're trading really heavily in top lane. And it's a very snowballing matchup. So if one of them gets a kill, it can win the entire matchup. Right, you see Eve here. Riven will most likely TP. Okay, she will not. She already pushed in the wave. I guess I will. Okay, she did TP. That's really crazy because the wave is already pushed in, so there's no reason for it to TP. But they're looking to dive. So I'll probably help my Camille here.
So you can be there just for the counter gank. I mean, they're trying to hard push that wave in.
Yeah, but she respects. Like, that's really good. But sometimes they don't respect, right? But she respects and she TPs back. So that's super good.
So I know Eve started blue side, right? So that's why I sort of knew she was top side as well. So I wanted to just be there to protect Camille, like when I walked up there. So now I know I can double crab, obviously.
That's good. You just gotta make sure that Riven doesn't get a kill there, and Camille loses like 2 waves. But she respects and just TPs instantly, so she saves it herself without even you being like having to be there. And because she doesn't have any flash in top lane, it's definitely gankable for you. Like, it's really a free gank. I would probably pop sweeper even here to make sure that
pop sweeper, that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I should have done.
And I guess you get the kill here, right? Yeah, you do for sure. And now the wave is frozen. And is it? No, it's not. I didn't see the cannon being low, but yeah, look at Riven. She just lost cannon wave.
She's TP. She's no TP.
Yeah, she doesn't have TP because she wasted TP for no reason. So Camille is out of the game, and Riven is out of the game, and Camille is a clear win condition for you. So I would just be playing for Camille here, and you even see like Eve walking into your Raptors through a ward. I'm not sure if you see it because you.
Oh, I think I might have actually missed that. That's a good point.
Yeah, you already saw her. What do you want to say?
This is an interesting one. So you know how you said that bot's like a clear win condition, and I said that as well. But I want to like emphasize as well how quickly that changed. Like if I kept on going, like bot died, I couldn't help it anymore. Like the wave like wasn't like in a situation like Castle was going to be too late to come there, and now suddenly Camille's my win condition. So I think that's really important to emphasize. And like it sounds like you probably would have done those top ganks as well, right? So
yeah.
You know, it's like just showing it's like you can have a win condition, and then also just the way the game goes, it's like, well, I just don't have opportunity to go there, so I need to make something else my win con.
Yeah, you have to be able to, like, it doesn't matter what elo or like what game, that will happen in some games, and you need to be able to adapt. As a good jungler, you need to be able to adapt and not just overforce your win condition, because it can change. And now Riven, no, Camille dies. That's super bad. But that's her own fault. And obviously they're gone. I mean, you also have Akali as a clear win condition. You already gave her 2 kills, maybe 1. I'm not sure. And she's super far ahead. There's a stacked wave here. This is a decent gank opportunity. But you just need to make sure the wave is at least pushed. And then you can go for the Drake. But yeah, I would look for the Drake
better there. Just get the Drake, yeah. Well, Victor just burnt ult, right? So there's no way they should be able to fight this.
He burnt ult and he doesn't have TP. He already used it to get to lane after your first kill. So the Drake is free, and you're just wasting a little bit of time, but it's fine. Works out. But yeah, it's I would just be looking for the Drake instantly, like thinking about the Drake and not the kill, because the wave is already pushed. But it's good for you that you're shadowing the Akali, just to make sure that she doesn't get ganked or anything on the push.
It's the same thing you talked about before. It's like you're trying to micromanage. It's like you're just sitting there ready. It's like helping, making sure she's pushed. But I do want to emphasize there's the speed and decision. Like you did talk about, you said it was fine, but if I was to make that decision faster to do Dragon, that could have given me an opportunities somewhere else.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like the speed in which you make decisions in League of Legends is so important, right? And I think that's the difference between like maybe Diamond and like Challenger, right? It's like they're like much more slower to do things.
Yeah, I mean that, and also that's usually junglers are already thinking about what should be happening before it's happening, so they're already ready for it to happen, right? And this is a bit. I guess she has ult, right? Yeah, she must have ult.
Yeah, she has ult.
Yeah. This is a bit risky, but you have TP from Akali, so even if it goes bad, it will be good. So this is super good. And now the wave is pushing towards Camille. So here you could not be pushing the wave and then just let a freeze happen.
I actually didn't think about that at all. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that would so screw Riven, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yep. She would just be fucked. She doesn't have a jungler, and she has to respect your presence in the jungle. So that would be super good, because now she's just getting the wave for free. Like she doesn't have to even fight over it or do something risky.
Yeah, it's a really big mistake.
Because her jungler is already dead, so you need to think of how you can even like fuck Riven as well on that play. Because she doesn't have to overstep to catch anything right now. But you might still get a kill because she's using all her dashes. Okay, Nimbus Cloak, Riven. But yeah, I would probably be looking for the Herald even there. Because this, as you said, the speed of the decisions can make an impact.
So I guess I'm simply thinking here, Riven's probably backing off here. Camille's still top. I have full priority mid.
Yeah. And she's diving. She even has E, so she's out. Super good. And now you already have the Herald, so you need to think about where you want to put the Herald or what the next play is supposed to be.
So what would that be for you?
If you look at the win condition, I would still say that it's Riven, Camille, because if Camille gets ahead, then they don't really have a way to deal with it on the side lane. So I would be looking to put the Herald in top lane. And it doesn't matter if she dies or not. The plane is still the same, and you have 3 camps up. So just take your 3 camps and then maybe put the Herald. You don't even have to get the full tower. You just have to get the gold. But you know that Riven doesn't have flash, so there might be an opportunity for you to just gank it and kill her, get the full tower. So in my mind, I would be thinking of top lane here.
Yeah. So how would you have path better here then? So after
it's
this,
fine, it's fine for you to take these 3 camps. Then I would rotate around into the mid lane. No, into the Herald. What the fuck, Scuttle speed, and then
yeah. So lane. Use this and then like dive top and then pop Herald. Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to dive, because looking at the wave on the minimap, it's slow pushing towards Camille. So it's probably a free gank for you, honestly.
Yeah.
And here again, there's a freeze in mid lane, and you're breaking it here. There was a clean free, like there was a perfect freeze for Akali, and you could just freeze it for free. If you go back, if you know what I'm talking about, like here you're just rolling the freeze away,
and then I'll just hit break the whole wave. Yeah, got it.
Exactly. Because if you don't do that and Leona doesn't use her stuff on the wave, then Victor is fucked. He's gonna be on 60 CS for the next 2 minutes. And again, Camille would still be what I would be playing for. So there was an opportunity there, but I mean, this also looks a bit forced, but it's fine. Yeah, but still, like Camille would still be where I would look to put the Herald, because this is kind of random. Correct me if I'm wrong. It feels a bit random.
I guess my thought process here is I've got mid priority, so I'm going to utilize Akali, having ult and having min priority just dive bot.
Yeah, I mean that could also be fine. But you could also just do top, right? And then 3v1 her.
Yeah, I think that's the better play. Again, I think I should be thinking about top here.
It's all about you knowing what is the win condition. That's pretty much it. Because you are the mastermind behind the plan, I guess. You can say it like that. You're the architect. But Akali is Fager, so it's good.
All right. Well, this game, that was really, really interesting. I think that's all I want to go for this game. I now have a loss I want to get your perspective on, which is going to be really interesting. I played this game just like a couple of hours before before we're speaking now.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a Zia mid, Aurelia top. I actually think I fixed it up.
Yeah. Here again, like I'm already thinking of where is ganks potent, like where can they do the most damage. Galio is really bad into Nunu. I'm not sure if you know that, but it's really rough for him. When he what's it called? When he charges back, you can stop it with your snowball. So you can look to gank mid lane, you can look to gank bot lane, but top lane is a bit rough. But he has Ignite, so if you can find him on a bad wave and kill him, then he's kind of out of the game. So I would probably look for bot early on again. It could be just the 3 bot imps into a gank on either side. But probably bot lane, since they have Brand with low mobility.
So you would do red Krugs look for a level 2 or red Krugs Raptors level 3 gank?
I would probably solo start Raptors, to be honest. Make sure that my bot lane is in bot lane.
Got it. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
You want to make sure that they are the ones controlling the wave early on. It's going to be rough though, because they're double ranged. But if they're not in lane, that's what you have to think of. You're kind of giving them an opportunity here, because if they're not in lane, like Brand Ezreal, then they won't be able to do what they want. But if they're in lane, then they will always be able to force the prio or do what they want, because it's Alistar level 1 versus Brand Ezreal double ranged.
That makes so much sense. I literally just realized I completely screwed my bot lane here, because bot I do try to go to, and like later on in the game, and they're just so screwed. I'm like, why are they getting destroyed? It's like, because I actually fucked them right here. I didn't even realize. That's actually such a good point. So it's important for them to start in lane here, right? So I got to do solo start.
Yep.
Really, really, really good point. Is this stuff you should be thinking about in lower elo, or do you think this is more high elo thing?
It's more high elo, but you can't do it in lower elo as well, because sometimes them starting in lane can literally win you the entire game. They might be able to stomp the enemy lane. Like, see here, you already know that Nidalee is starting bot side because they enter the lane at the same time as Alistar. But if they were in the lane, they would be able to control it earlier on. Yeah. And even get level 2. Probably not before, but maybe before. So yeah, I would not be doing this. I would just be going for the golems and then going bot lane.
So I was thinking I need to gank now, but I'm like, well, it's a level 2 with a pretty big wave. I can't gank top right now.
Yeah, he needs to
because my rel is level 1
for you to do anything. But does he die?
Because and now I'm terrified because Nidalee is topside. What do I do here? You know?
I mean, you can just cover him. All you need to do is really cover him on the wave, so that he doesn't get 2v1 under the tower, because this is really bad. This is not like what you really don't want to do, because enemy Wukong has Ignite, and you know that Nidalee is top, so this is a clear, like, this is so fucking free for enemy team, but I guess Nidalee doesn't see it. I'm
trying to come here straight away, and then I miss the time.
Yeah, exactly. You need to think of it before it happens. It's really, really important, no matter the elo.
So I did think about it, but I thought I could get wolves beforehand.
The most important thing on jungle is that you don't greed for camps. The lane is the most important thing. But I know what you mean. I had this before as well, before I like learned to play the game. But yeah, as like I just what's it called? Like I knew what was gonna happen because it was so obvious. You can already see if you looked at the wave that Wukong is stacking the wave for a reason. He's not stacking the wave because of anything, right? He's stacking the wave so that they can dive on it. And now you're just wasting time because the scuttle is for sure gone. If you get it, then yeah. You might even be able to do it. Yeah, you might have been able to catch her with W. But you're just wasting time right now.
So what should I have done instead here?
If you
reset
go back,
runs drop bot.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, you have to be able to be there on the first gank because that ruins your top lane. But if you do fuck that up, then I think insta reset and then go bot. Because you have to have something to play around. If you don't have anything to play around on Nunu, the game is really rough.
Yeah.
So insta back and then run towards bot lane. Maybe see if you can get the crap. And if they are pushed, then you go for the gank instead.
Yeah, and then now I just lose bot crab here as well, and then I'm just
they die as well.
I think that makes a lot of sense why I lost that game. Greeting for camps, and
I mean,
so you think I really should have looked for bot there? I mean, again, it's going to depend on the wave.
Okay. Like you
Top's
have
fine
to
as
choose.
well.
No, you have to choose early on. Am I gonna cover the Irelia or am I gonna gank bot lane? So
yeah,
it's like it's up to you. Both can work. If you do fuck enemy bot lane, kill them a couple of times, and then you're good. Like they are out of the game. Or you choose to help your top side and make sure that he doesn't get dived. And if you help him there, like if you're on the dive, then you get 2-4-0 for sure.
Yeah, and that's a different game. I literally could potentially win the game off that.
Yeah, I mean, you probably would win the entire game because of that.
So huge. Yeah, I mean, I literally knew at that point. I was like, and then I go and then I think sort of similar play to you out of frustration. I'm like, I can't lose this. I refuse to lose this crab. Yeah, because It's like I'm Nunu against a Nid. It's like, why can't I just Q smite? You know, and then I'm just wasting time and.
Definitely.
All right, so lastly, I wanted to go over a bit more of a lower elo Nunu game. This is actually from one of my coaching clients. In gold, I think he's gold 2. So hopefully we get a nice tab here. Tab. Oh. Let's try and get it just at the perfect time because again, ideally you're sitting there just tabbing, looking at win conditions, right? As well, like it's always something you recommend.
Yeah, usually, but I already know what I want to do in champ select.
Okay.
I mean that's just because I've been playing competitive myself, and usually you talk about this before, like even the draft happens. You already talk about what you want to do, but if something changes, then you obviously need to adapt. So it's just because I've been playing competitive and because I've been playing League for a long time now. So yeah, he obviously tapped here and clear win condition again. Top lane is fine. You don't need to play for it because Shin is not going to carry the game. Kassadin would be able to carry the game. Kassadin has Ignite, which means if you kill him one time and Yasuo can freeze the game or freeze the lane, then Kassadin is out of the game and you can perma-kill him. So play around mid lane early on. If you get the flash, get the kill, get the freeze, Kassadin is out of the game and you can potentially just return gang it like a lot of times. And bot lane as well, low mobility. It's easy to gank, so start top side and play around the bot mid.
So you start blue, so blue Grunt Wolves, and then into Raptors red.
You just want to take the first side of top lane and then play around bot, or you can just level 2 mid lane, like go Reds into level 2 mid lane, and then take his flash, and he can play the game until he has 6 or flash again. And I guess he fucked up. If you go back again, he fucked up W. Yeah, you need to make sure that you start W later, like earlier on, because you don't get any damage.
You need to kill the camp like all the way back here, right? So then you can get a full run up.
Yep. You need to get
so
fully charged W, because then it will insta die. He's wasting so much time on this. But as you can see, like it takes him
so slow. This is, I mean, look how much HP he's lost. He's using both pots as well, right? So this is really big.
Yeah, you don't even have to use pots and still be full HP if you do this clear. So yeah, that's really crucial. And his top side is gone, so I guess he got invaded. But yeah, as you can see, bot lane is pushed. Like Saya and Brand is so far up the lane, and if he did Grump golems instead, gank bot, then they would be the ones getting first blood. But now he's out of the game. No, he's not out of the game. But
no recovery, or like how do you recover?
No, you can for sure recover. Like look at them right now; they're super low HP, but he's level 2 because he's been wasting so much time. But yet he can still kill them here for sure. If he doesn't hit the snowball, it's really rough. They could definitely have turned this around, like Brand and Saya. They could for sure turn this. As you can see, like if they commit on turning, Nunu dies here. And here again, you want to make sure that the wave is frozen, and he can kind of not go for this. He already sees that Wukong is in bot side, so this is really fucking.
Bot lane's based, not waves in a bad position here. Probably should just be doing crab and then getting out of here.
No, yeah, probably taking the scuttle, but it works out. I'm pretty sure it works out because Saya is helping him and he has flash Q, so he should be good. Yeah, so it's fine if Saya helps him, but yeah, in a high elo game, I would most likely just take the crap and just get out. Or look for bot gank again, because the wave is good. The wave is in a good state for a gank, but it's not a good state for him to invade. And a lot of walking around. Like he's walking way more than he should. He's just walking around like blindly, kind of.
I think he's going for double crab now.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm thinking now, what I mean by walking around is he's not using W as a running mechanism, because you can use it to just walk like run around the map and buy a lot of time. And here again, he has to let go of the W and then use E instead. If he instantly lets go of W and just put like E instead of W, then he will catch up to him for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely dead chin here, right?
Yeah, exactly. If he insta lets go of W when he doesn't hit it, then he will kill him with E. Because there's so much time wasted.
Is it even the angle as well? Like it should be more. You should be more that direction to cut him off. You know, you said to push him back.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, like if you can make sure that they have to push back towards your enemy champion, towards Silas, then it's really free kill. But again, like look at bot lane, they're pushing so far up, and they're not getting punished for it, despite being double immobile champion. So on Nunu, if enemy has double immobile champion in bot lane, then always look for it, because it will work out.
It's like your bot there.
Yeah. And still, like, he's not putting any pressure around the castle.
Do you ever look at CS count here as well, Hidon? Like it's like we're 6 minutes in with 20 CS. We've done 5 camps. Like level 4. Like is this something you consider? Or
CS on junglers is kind of whatever. You just have to think about how you can make the most impact early on with Nunu. But like what he did wrong from the get-go is that he went topside. If you are playing Nunu, then you always want to try to split the map. Not always, but in this game, like because Silas doesn't need any help with Shin, and you need to play around mid bot. So if you want to play around mid bot, then why are you going to take your top camps? Just take your bot camps and try to split the map. Obviously, he didn't know that Wukong was invading him, but even if he's not invading him, then you should still just try to split the map and do as much damage as you can on the mid bot lane. And a lot of wasting time here. Like he walked around in circles for like 5-6 seconds instead of just taking his golems.
Yeah.
Because he can take both.
So here, he should have just been doing
he should
Krugs.
just W towards Krugs.
Yeah, one-shot Krugs and then take red and then move up to top side.
I mean, he could gank bot as well, like if you go back a bit. Or not gank bot, but cover them, because they're for some reason pushing the tower with no mana or nor HP. And I think he dies, Okay, he doesn't. Yeah. But like a lot of wasted time. He's used like 2 minutes right now, I would say, of like just wasting time.
I mean, we haven't pressured both the win cons, right? Like we haven't done anything. We've done nothing. But our only kills top. Our only kill participation is top.
Yep.
Now we're looking to pressure top again. And bot probably after Gromp reset. Do Crab reset straight bot, or what are you thinking here?
I mean, he already got the Drake, so he could either look to just take the Herald or gank bot lane. But yeah, he's wasted so much time just walking around, where he could have been ganking or taking camps. Yeah, so Rift is up and he could do that, but he's looking top, which is completely fine. The wave is good for him to gank. And I'm expecting him to get a kill here. He needs to help him though. Holy shit. Yeah, it doesn't, like, he shouldn't care about kill steal or whatever. It's not a thing.
So what happens if Shem was Silas was high HP? Do you just don't care? Would you take kills? Do you want to try and give laners kills?
Like if the kill is 100% secured, then give it to your laner, because you're a tank, and if you're not uber fit with Mechai, then there's no point in doing it. In taking the kill, I mean, because obviously you're not the main carry, and you have to respect that. Here, like, he should just focus on getting the Herald with Q-Smite and then kill the Wukong. Like, you can take the Rift after, because he could just run him down here. If he wanted to, he could run him down with E. And he would...
So don't even W, just run him down with E.
Yeah, I could just run him down with E and then take the Herald after, because it's up for 1 minute. So you can just take it after. Yeah, as you could see, like, if he didn't just wait... it works out, so that's good, right? But he could have done it way more efficiently.
So how you think about using Rift Herald here, Hidon?
It's fine, but you need to do it when it's on free plates. I hope he also does that. Yeah, he does that.
Fine. That's one of the things I teach Hidon. Make sure we're breaking tower 2.5 plates. We're utilizing Rift Herald.
Yeah, sometimes it's not possible. And you should just get what you can, like the plates you can with it. But yeah, it's good to use Rift. You just need to make sure that you burn the plates there first, because it is a free tower. And obviously it gets more armor and magic resist as like the more plates it loses, so it's good. Because you should just take the tower here. But yeah. He's been doing a lot of, like, if we recap really quick, like, he's been doing a lot of walking around, and he's playing around the wrong side of the map. Because bot lane is a free kill. If he ganks it without flash, they will 100% die. They're not gonna be able to survive. Only if Sai has 6. And if you get bot lane a hit in this game, the game is over.
So should he be resetting right now and not doing his top camps, going bot? He's 2k gold, like he's just walking to the camp. Ideally, you're doing Snowball and Gromp here, right? Though, as well.
Yeah, you do Snowball on the Gromp to get the damage. But yeah, it's fine to take the 2 camps here. There's nowhere for him to be. Like, he's not forced to be anywhere. But here, if he presses tab, you will see that the Drake is coming up, and he should reset right now. He shouldn't be doing 1 more camp. Which is, that's super good. Okay, he's not. But yeah, he needs to reset to be able to be there on. So ideally, you want to reset at least 1 minute to 50 seconds before, so that you're able to get vision on the first wave, and then clear vision / put vision on the first wave, and on the second wave, you want to push in and make sure that they can contest the Drake. That's ideally what he wants to do, or what he should want to do. But yeah, bot lane dies here, mid lane dies, and that means Drake is giving up.
Is it ever efficient to W out of base?
Yeah, it is for sure. If he doesn't
Every
want
time?
to, if he doesn't want to W out of base, then he can just W here from here to enemies. No, from here to golems, and then he will at least like hit the camp with it. But always, like I always W out of base because you don't at this point you don't need the W to kill the camp. You can just one-tap it anyways.
So it's not straight out of base, not here, right? It's like here. Like let's say if you're going to Raptors here, and then if you're going to Krugs here.
Yeah, it's from tier 3.
It's in tier 3 tower. Okay.
Yeah, right there. Then you will hit it if you angle it right. But yeah, he should. He's just been wasting a lot of time, and I'm guessing he loses this game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But there's not really more. Yeah, he lost this game pretty much because he's playing around the wrong side of the map. And yeah, obviously, it will cost him, even if it's low elo game. Then not playing around the wrong side, like playing around the wrong side of the map, will cost you deeply.
It's super important to play around that as Nunu. You think that's like more important? Like, let's say if you're playing like a champ like Eve or Hecarim, is it as important as Nunu compared to those type of champs?
I mean, you still want to be on the right side of the map, but on Nunu, it's definitely more important because you are the best ganking jungler in the entire game. There's no one who can compare to him. And Hecarim Eve, you mostly want to be like playing for yourself as a carry, and you want to be looking at how you can path most efficiently so that you get the most gold and experience, but you still want to be playing around the right side of the map. But usually when you pick those champs, you are the win condition yourself. So you need to play around yourself in that case.
So you wouldn't say Nunu specifically, you can like 1v9 on. Again, you need to be playing through someone.
Yeah, you can't 1v9, but I mean, you can be strong, but you should always have something to play around, which is mostly bot lane. Like as I said, I had no clue how to play the game, and I got Challenger by just doing red golems gank bot.
Yeah,
literally every single game when I first hit Challenger. But yeah, now I know way more about the game, and it's different.
How would you recommend someone knowing? How did you get to know more about the game? Was it through playing lane, or like how did you study? Did you have anyone you looked up to climbing, like who you studied, like pro players?
I watched every single LCK game in season 9, I think. Like when I played competitively, I went to EU Masters as well, like second biggest competition in Europe.
Yeah,
after LEC. And it was mostly just because like I watched and analyzed what the pro players were doing in Korea, because I think they are the best. It is the best region. And I just analyzed every single like high tier game, not all of the lower games. And then I thought to myself, like, why are they doing what they're doing? Because there is always a reasoning behind it. And then I just slowly started learning. So it's kind of like school. The more you study, the better you'll get. And the more you prepare, the more you are prepared, right? So it's kind of like school, league.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for us here. We looked over a couple of games. We definitely learned a lot here. I think we covered pretty much everything for Nunu. I can't remember any other questions. Is there anything else we probably missed with Nunu, or the way you play Nunu, or anything you recommend for Nunu players out there?
No, I mean, no, not really. Like, you just have to, if you want to learn how to play Nunu, you should just learn how lane works, or what is the win condition in every game. But that takes obviously time. So you just got to put the time in, and then you will eventually learn.
So how do you learn do you recommend going into a game, every single game, having a win condition, just testing it out? It could be the wrong one, right?
Yeah, it could be the wrong one.
Figuring out why.
You just have to go with a game plan. That's all you got to do, because I guarantee you that every single loyal player, they don't have a game plan. They just play the game.
That's right.
But if you go to the game with a plan, even if it's the wrong one, then you will learn from it. So for sure, just try to think to yourself like, what do I want to do for the next 2 minutes, and then try to think ahead of the game. That's probably what I would recommend. And go to my stream, twitch.tv/Hidon1.
All right, I was just about to get to that, Hidon. So tell us what you're up to. So you stream how many days a week?
Every day.
Every day, and that's at twitch.tv. I'll link it in the description below of this video. Twitch.tv/Hidon. So the same way you spelled that, Hidon.
Yeah, Hidon and then 1 because someone took my name.
Got it.
And then obviously YouTube
and Twitter as well.
Yeah, Twitter as well. It's Hidon lol.
And you just started up your YouTube, right? You have like one video on there at the moment, right? I think it was you versus what was it? Like you
self-made.
You dumbstring self-made as your Nunu, right? You're playing Nunu. So there you go. Check out that to see how to beat pro players with Hidon's Nunu.
Yeah, and I will be uploading, like, I think I'll be uploading a video on Nunu, like tools that can help you play the game, and then I will be uploading a jungle guide as well. Not like one of the regular ones that you always see on YouTube where it's just bullshit, but
smurfing low elo.
Yeah, but actually, like how, like what's it called? The terms of jungle works, like what's it called? Pressure ganks, for example, like the reasoning behind some ganks and win conditions, etc. Like all of that.
Yeah, I think that'll be really, really useful for people out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of league terminology that people. It's such a high barrier to entry. Like there's so much terminology that we just like take for granted. It's like, yeah, we understand what that means, but it's like a new player. It's like, yeah, we actually had to learn these things. Now it's like second nature to us, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thanks everyone here for watching. Thanks, obviously, Hidon, for taking your time. Really, really useful for myself as well. I learned a lot and hopefully helpful to the viewers there as well. Again, I'll link all Hidon's links below in the description. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.